is, how many of you have ever heard of a SWOT analysis? Okay. So this is it's a very traditional analytic tool, and the SWOT stands for your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so we use that to kind of identify. You take those and you look at them one at a time and say, okay, what's really going on here? And where are we headed? What have we accomplished? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And then going forward, where are some opportunities? Where are things that are scary and cause some concern, some threats? Now, recently we had a consultant who came in and he said, Mark, I like to stand that on its head. And we call it the so what tool. Okay? He pointed out that if you focus on your strengths and opportunities, your weaknesses and threats tend to drift into the background. And then when you look at your strengths and opportunities, that tells the story of what you can do and what you're going to accomplish. And so this morning, I just want to share a little bit with you my analysis of where we are as a company on our strengths, our opportunities, our weaknesses, and threats. Our strengths. You guys are our strength. You're our greatest strength. The independent retailer businesses create an environment that nobody else has. As a contractor, you know, when I was young, we used to use what we call dimensional lumber. They would take a log and they would saw it into a piece of wood, and it would maybe be a beam or a 2x4, whatever. But that dimensional lumber was fairly strong. But as years went by, they learned to do something called engineered wood products. Now, the problem with a single piece of lumber is if you've ever seen a tree grow, it grows in rings, right? And those rings become what we refer to as the grain in the lumber. But if the grain, if the wood's going to break, it always breaks along the grain. And so if you have a single piece of lumber and it has that grain, it has the potential to break along that grain. But what they did is they started to make, the first things we saw were what were called glue lamp beams. And they took separate pieces of wood and they glued them together. And so now where one piece was a little bit weak, the piece next to it was strong. And so it was that uniqueness that created the strength. In our business, your uniqueness is what creates our strength. Not everybody has the exact same talent or personality or knowledge or experience. And so each one of you as an individual has strengths that to somebody next to you might be their weakness. So together we create incredible strength as we all align looking for the same objectives. Second thing you just met, my executive team. Guys, I consider that team an incredible source of strength. The knowledge and experience that sits at that table, along with the passion and desire to serve and the commitment to making this business successful, are unequaled. I would put that team up against any executive team in any Fortune 100 company in the world. They're committed, they're knowledgeable, they're professional, and we're getting great things done. Our brand. Guys, do you know how much strength is in the brand LuLaRoe? Yeah. People buy LuLaRoe. Not, oh, I like that shirt, or I like those leggings. Yeah, that's that too. But if you took the name LuLaRoe off of it, they're not as anxious to buy it. Our brand is strong. And it's strong because, once again, of the commitment of a team of people who have made it strong. A team of people who have paid attention to what does it look like, what does it feel like, how is it presented in the public, how is it defended through our intellectual property rights. All of those things have contributed to create this strong, strong brand. I've had a chance to talk to some of the people who have left. And one of the things that they find out very quickly is that they miss the strength of the brand. That selling stuff isn't the same as selling LuLaRoe. disruptive retail model. Now, what does that mean? What it means is that we have found a way to sell that other people would like to be able to do, but can't quite figure out. What is it that makes us disruptive? Yesterday we heard Rachel talk about the internet and this world of convenience and this instant gratification and finding customers on your phone. That's one of our strengths. Our competition in that arena can't compete on our greatest strength. Your greatest strength is you and your personal connection to your customer. We cannot beat Amazon head-to-head on price and instant delivery most of the time. Okay? We don't have drones. We can't drop into your house with a drone 3 hours after you ordered something. Okay? So taking a chapter out of long-time martial strategy, you do not attack your enemy where he's strong, you attack where they're weak. So we're not going to try to beat Amazon on price or on 2-hour delivery. But you can do that. They can come to your house and shop if they want, or if they're your neighbor, you can just run it over. But the reality is, where do we compete? We compete where you're strongest, and that is in your personal relationships with your customers. It's in the amount of service that you provide them. Nobody at Amazon is going, oh, you ordered this? You know what? I know you love blue. I know you love blue florals. And I'm going to get you this, and I want you to see these two together. Nobody's doing that. And we're not doing it just to upsell. We're doing it to serve our customer. And the service and the love and community is where our strength lies. We have an aligned and strong supply chain. Now, what do I mean by that? We bragged about Michael for a minute, but I want to tell you that Michael's ability to forge personal relationships with our supply chain has allowed us to leverage into places that we probably shouldn't have been able to. But our supply chain, our vendors, understand our mission and are aligned with it. And we will never again be exposed to a single vendor. One of the lessons of hard work. Check that box. We now have basically 5 vendors with 3 real primary vendors located all over the world that are producing for us. Not only do they produce for us, but they support us on the design side also with concepts. They're engaged, they're our active partners in our development of product lines and prints and fabrics as we go forward. Infrastructure. When we were on that rocket ship of a ride, one of the things that we did was we invested heavily in our processes and our ability to service our customers, which are you. And so we invested in RFID technology. We invested in our warehouse spaces. We invested in pick-to-light technology. I had an opportunity last couple of weeks ago to take somebody to our warehouse in South Carolina. And he was operating a warehouse in Memphis, Tennessee. And I walked through his warehouse, and then I took him to our warehouse. And guys, it was a day and night difference, and he didn't even know that a warehouse like ours existed because of the level of technology and commitment to being able to fulfill quickly and accurately. Right now, yes, that infrastructure is a strength that we have not leveraged yet. It's there, and we could grow this company 5 times right now and not put pressure on that infrastructure. So we have that capacity, and it's there. Increased alignment and clarity. Now, I added that to our strengths, but I'm going to say that I probably maybe could have pushed that into opportunities, because that will always be an opportunity. We're doing that now, and it's showing results. It's showing great results. But we still have a ways to go with that. We have opportunities to continue to align. When you have increased alignment, basically your opportunities increase. By creating increased alignment, we can create growth. This is an opportunity for us right now, is to increase our growth. And what growth are we talking about? Kenny yesterday spoke a little bit about the 3 pillars of growth. We need new customers, we need new retailers, and we need increased profitability for the existing retailers. Those are the 3 things that we want to see grow. And so, yeah, absolutely. We're committed to that. Do you feel a sense that we're a little more clear about who we are and what we're trying to accomplish right now? We absolutely are. And we're pulling in and focusing, what can we be best at? And you know, when we started this business, we committed to being a great small business developer, an entrepreneur developer. And then we created a lot of small businesses, but we weren't diligent about making sure that we were creating successful businesses. We kind of trusted y'all to just do that. And that's a fault of mine. That's my own lens, my own way of looking at the world, because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, so I figured as soon as you became an entrepreneur, you'd automatically know how to handle your inventory and how to do your taxes and how to promote yourself in the marketplace and to do all these things that it takes to be a small business and an entrepreneur. And some of you didn't have that information, and for that we apologize. But as we go forward, we will be focusing our resources on making sure that you have both information and training and technological support, the things you need to operate successfully as a small business. New product lines. I mean, you saw some stuff here, right? Okay. So if you're excited about that, just stick around, because that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Okay? We have not only new product opportunities, but I want you to know that they're not random. That as we begin to bring out new styles, what we're saying is, what market are we targeting with these new styles? You know, who are we targeting with jeans? Who did we target with the live top? There's opportunities to move into a younger demographic. There's opportunities to move into ethnic demographics. There are opportunities to move into the children's lines. There are opportunities in men's lines. The list is endless. And again, as Rachel stood up here and talked about niche marketing, you're going to see us bring out some product that you probably might look at and go, none of my people want that. Good, don't order it. Okay? But somebody does want it, and we're looking for those niche markets where we can begin to bring product to people that expand LuLaRoe's influence. Okay? And finally, I think one of our greatest opportunities is in technology. As the technology, one of the reasons there's such great opportunity is that whatever you've got today is obsolete tomorrow, and there will be more opportunity tomorrow. And so we're very, very focused with our technology partners in bringing tools and technology that will make your business easier. Now, let me say one thing about technology. Remember I said that our challenges, our weaknesses, can become our opportunities. I want to challenge you, if you're technologically adept, that you don't go down the rabbit hole on telling us what our next technology should be. Okay? Now, we love you and we love the feedback. And I'm not saying don't give us feedback and don't be open. We're very open to what the possibilities are. But what I found in technology is that oftentimes there are 73 solutions to one problem. Okay? And we're going to pick one, and we're going to say this is our solution to that problem. And it might only be a 70% solution, and you've got one that's an 80%. By the time we leave our 70%, chase into the 80%, try to convince everybody that the 80% is really valuable, we'll be back to 60%. Does that make any sense at all to you guys? Yep. So instead of looking around and saying, what technology should we have, look at what technology we do have and leverage it for your business. Okay? And know that we will continue to look for ways to improve that technology. Okay, so opportunities, weaknesses. Weaknesses are opportunities. Every one of those opportunities, if we do not handle it correctly, becomes a weakness for us. If we do not step up to the growth opportunity, our lack of growth is a weakness. If we don't step up to the technology opportunities, that becomes a weakness. I refuse to recognize weaknesses because they are simply opportunities. But we're aware that there are areas that we need to grow, and we're focused on those opportunities. And finally, let's talk about threats. Threats are external. There are also some opportunities here, but we do have litigation. Now, I sent the attorneys off stage so I can say whatever I want. They're back there cringing right now. Somebody's holding Bill down so he doesn't come out here and take the mic away. Let me just tell you about litigation. I had a friend of mine called the other day and said, how's your litigation going? And I said, you know how litigation is. You never win, you simply don't lose. That's kind of how this stuff goes on and on and on and on. And we win the battle, and we win another battle, and we win another battle. Someday, guys, we will win the war, I promise. But meanwhile, let me just reassure you that there is no pending litigation that keeps me up at night. I feel like we are winning on all fronts. Again, disclaimer for the attorneys. That's just my opinion, okay? But I have a lot of information at my fingertips. I know things that we've been accused of, and I know whether we did them or not. And we didn't. And so I'm not worried. I'm worried only to the extent that litigation causes worry. You never know where that's going to end up, right? Our reputation. We've been attacked. It was on purpose. It was specific. And there was reasons for it. We have weathered a lot of that storm. But let me tell you what I'm most concerned about. Justin mentioned it yesterday on stage, and that is we are our own worst enemy. We're the ones clicking on that negative stuff. What are they saying about me now? Quit it. Okay? We don't care. What we do know is that we are now creating our own stories and our own discussion of who we are. How many of you watched the video last night? I better see them all, baby. There was a challenge out there. I better see them all, okay? If you didn't watch it last night, watch it today and then share it. We have an army that just in this room can change the way we show up on social media. If we engage this army, we can overcome whatever reputational issues there are. Now, at one point there was a suggestion, maybe we need to rebrand. And I said, no. You rebrand when you've made a horrible mistake with your brand. We have not made a horrible mistake with our brand. People have said untrue things, so we re-communicate. If we don't tell our story, somebody else will. So we are committed to telling our story. We're committed to having you tell your stories. Deanna and I get wonderful messages every day of people who say their lives have been changed by being part of LuLaRoe. Financially changed, their relationships, their friendships have been changed, how they see themselves, their self-confidence has been changed. They put on the clothing and they felt pretty and they've been changed. Those are stories that we need to share with each other and strengthen each other so that when somebody from outside comes and says to us, oh, you're that company, I've heard about them, you say, no, let me tell you who we are. And you have a reservoir of information to pull from. And finally, let's talk about reliance on third-party technology. That's a threat. What if Facebook wakes up tomorrow and says, you guys aren't allowed to do what you do anymore? That's a threat. Know that we're aware that that's a threat. We're working on technology and opportunities that we could use in case that were ever to happen. And meanwhile, know that if you consider that a threat, make sure that your business is not completely heavily weighted to that technology. It's okay to use that technology. Do not be 100% dependent on it. Get back to face-to-faces. Get back to selling to in your community. Get back to fundraisers in your community. Get back to in-home parties. Use the technologies that are available, but make sure that you're not overweighted on a dependency on a technology that we don't control. Okay? Guys, that's the high-level view of where I think we are as a business. You're going to get more of me this afternoon, and I'm going to talk a lot more about the future and why I'm excited. But for right now, I want to bring to the stage a couple of my favorite people, and that is my daughter, Amelia Lyon, and my daughter-in-law, Jill Brady. Would you guys come on up, please?